Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome everybody to another Supatease guide. And obviously in patch 8.1 you may be looking for some things to do in your free time in World of Warcraft, but I happen to find an amazing 2v2 spec on Restoration Druid that I've been enjoying a lot, and it's a combination of Master Shapeshifter, the Honor talent, alongside the Feral Druid affinity, and it is very important to take Thorns on top of this against any sort of melee damage dealer, as basically in cat form you are doing 25% more damage thanks to the Master Shapeshifter, and you function as a Restoration Feral hybrid. It really amplifies those abilities. It makes 2 versus 2 almost on hard mode because you don't have bear form to soak up damage, and it makes it a lot more dangerous, but high risk comes with high reward, and it's a good time to really kind of fool around with if you've been looking for something to spice up your Restoration Druid play and sort of challenge yourself in a new way. So I'm going to be going over my thoughts in this match and how I'm trying to implement it. Basically, you're going to be using a lot of global cooldowns. You have to keep up your hots and your dots. So you got Moonfire, Sunfire, Rake, and Rip. It's 4 dots, 3 hots, and a lot of time. So I'm going to open with the Rake stun from stealth, as it does stun from stealth. So you want to make sure you're using that. You don't want to be using on the target that's getting storm bolted. Then I expect against a hunter that my warrior is the target, as he's looking to freezing trap me. So I use Thorns on my warrior. This is to help cleave down the hunter pet and potentially kill the hunter pet. Against Beast Mastery, if you can manage to slay that little pet, then you remove his Mortal Strike and you remove basically all of his damage. And you can punish him by keeping it dead by stunning and interrupting him. Then if I don't feel like I need to be healing my warrior at all, I'm looking to keep up Moonfire and Sunfire. In this position I'm too far away to get any cat dots, so I'm focusing more on the wizard ones. Sunfire costs a lot of mana, so you really only want to be using it when you know the target's going to die. Then I jump in with Wild Charge, get a Rake, and get a 5 combo point Rip and a Rake onto the other target. And then I see a Basilisk. So this BM Hunter has used this giant alligator. It hits really hard. You don't want to go anywhere near it. So instead of staying in their face and continuing to attack, I try to retreat away. I could have used Wild Charge to avoid this freezing trap, and because I didn't, now we are going to get crowd controlled a lot. Fortunately, we are still kiting the Basilisk and avoiding most of the burst damage. Then I get a re-stealth out of the freezing trap, and you want to be re-stealthing a lot as this build. Any crowd control longer than about 5 or 6 seconds, you will fall out of combat at the end of it. So you want to be mashing that re-stealth, Wild Charge to the target, and then stun it. Get the addition of the stun, get your Rake applied and all of your dots. I then go for an Innervate play, and why Innervate is important is it makes all of your energy cost abilities 0. So you can do big ferocious bites. Whenever you got maximum energy in your ferocious biting, it hits really hard. And because of this little push that we do, we manage to get a barrier. Now I do not want to use ferocious bite into barrier. Instead it is a smarter idea to use Rip and to apply a bleed that will be up after that defense has fallen. Then you have to play a bit aggressive and ahead of the damage to play this build, so I Iron Bark so that I can go back into cat and look to try and finish the enemy healer off by training him. I use Vortex to hold him in place for my warrior and myself, and I look to close the game with a big ferocious bite. This spec was a lot of fun to play because it challenged me in a new way on Restoration Druid. I wouldn't necessarily suggest it if you are new to Druid. It is very weak, as I found out, into assassination rogues if you're gonna not want to take it into that, but any melee class for the most part, this wasn't even the best example, like a warrior or rogue or survival hunter. These classes, when they attack you, you can almost counter-aggress them in cat form and do a ton of damage and get cooldowns that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get, and it really challenges your ability to manage healing and doing damage in a way that I never really had to do on Druid before. So I would definitely recommend it. It was a lot of fun to goof around with and fool around with. If you're looking for something to do in 8.0 or 8.1, that's definitely something you should try. Thank you very much for tuning into this video. I hope that you have a lot of fun with your kitty meow meow times, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm making guides every single day, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell to see when I go live, and I hope you have a good day. I'll see you later.